And good evening, everybody. We start on this Saturday with landfall. And good evening, everybody. We start on this Saturday with landfall in 24 hours and warnings in effect. This is Tracking Irma with Willie Gillespie on Willie's Weather Channel live on YouTube. And good evening, everybody. Welcome to this Saturday, a sad Saturday in Florida right now. The live picture of Hurricane Irma in Florida as it begins its devastating impacts into the area. Hello, everybody. I'm Willie Gillespie. We are live on YouTube right now at Willie's Weather Channel, and we are continuing to track Irma as it is just hours away from landfall here in the United States. So we are watching, obviously, the latest developments of this. You can see here is Irma, and it is also very close to the Keys and to the mainland here, and that's what we're watching. You see these outer bands affecting parts of Cuba and Santa Clara and down into Pinar del Rio. Those are some strong bands as well. And you see these red icons here. These indicate we have some rotation within the bands. So that means we do have some tornadic signature. And what that means is there is a potential for some tornadoes within this. And I think this area isn't right there. Does it have a tornado watch in effect until Sunday morning for the entire area here? You can see that kind of in red, but so many alerts. There's our tornado watch for 481 and in effect till midnight tonight, actually. Sorry about that, folks. And you can see we do have some identified rotation, and we're picking this one up as tornadic signature. Not affecting any areas in the next 60 minutes, which means it's going to downgrade, and then neither is this one, so obviously that's a good thing. But as you can see, all of southern Florida is being impacted already by Hurricane Irma, and you can see, if I want to take everything off the map except our Doppler here, it is extremely close to this area. So I put on the radar satellite and take off everything else, all these tracks and everything so much on the map at this time. And there we go. Here's your radar satellite composite, folks. And you can see some of these outer bands, as they call them, these outer rain bands, have already hit parts of Florida. But this is the area that we're watching. And on your screen, you should have a Doppler radar high-res image of Irma as it is, you can see spinning over there. And then there's a satellite. And then the top image indicates our warnings for the area. You can see that purple area indicates hurricane warning for the entire location. But you can see this is just really devastating for those people down there. And this is the rotation area. This is the eye of the storm. This is where it is. And that is what is going to be making landfall in Florida in the next 12 hours. And we're going to watch that track as it moves into the area, and we're gonna put it on the radar just for you here. And that's pretty much the same image, but still affecting parts of northern Cuba there. And then as we go into parts of Miami, as I said, getting this outer band effect, and already the winds are getting high over there. I want to go to Miami with the current conditions over there, and you can see in Miami, Color Bay, about to get another whiff of some storms. It's already starting to happen. These are some of the outer bands. And it's getting close, very, very close. So as I'm saying, I want to go to Miami. This is just our location viewer here, and it's trying to gather some data on the location. This is, data, rain, wind, and this is Coral Gables, Florida. And you can see we are going to take a quick view at this location, and you can see many warnings. In fact, if you're in Coral Gables right now, 8 alerts in effect for this area. So we have a hurricane warning, tornado watch, flood watch, and hurricane statement, along with some, automatic issues, and we have lightning and precipitation in the area. So if you're in Coral Gables, what can you expect over the next 24 hours? Well, here's what we can expect for this area, and you can see by the Coconut Grove Center there, it is 83 degrees, feels like 93. They have only gotten just a little more than 1/10 of an inch so far, but that is obviously going to increase as the next 24 hours come along here. And you can see the humidity at 85%, so that is pretty high. And we look at that model predicting 7.36 inches of rain in the next 24 hours for this area, and some thunderstorms of wind expected in the area as well. We get some more rain overnight. You can see walking in the 2 o'clock hour. Around 2 o'clock, you get these squalls. This is where the model can't even predict. It says 0.33, but usually during these squalls, that's when landfall is expected, and that's when you're going to get the real eye wall of the system, and it can't even begin to, kind of pinpoint the rain totals. But you can see we have gusts at 18 miles per hour right now, and that is not the case in some other locations. I want to put you in the Keys where we are expecting major, devastating impacts. Look at how small they are on radar, and I can actually barely pick them up on satellite because there's so much rain. But anyway, we're going to go to the Keys right now. And we're trying to gather, there we go, Key West, Florida, and oh, wow, look at this, devastating rain totals here. The airport obviously shut down, and we're getting new information that there is a tornado warning in effect for Key West right now until 7:30 p.m. This was just issued by the National Weather Service. Sorry, this is actually that's 6:30 p.m. Sorry, that's my bad because we are in Central Time. But we have a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located 8 miles northwest of Pigeon Key, 8 miles north of 7 Mile Bridge, moving west at 70 miles per hour. So we have radar indicated rotation here. I want to put on the Doppler radar, and this is going to show you exactly what rotation we're talking about. That's not where I want to go. Hold on. I want to go to our single site. I don't even know if they're running here. There looks like they are though. Alright, well, we're trying to gather some data from NextRad, KBYX over there at Key West, and see if their model is running, and it looks like they're able to, yep, there we go. Anyway, that is our Doppler radar, and you can see it scanning, but I don't want that. I want the velocity, and that should help indicate where our tornado was, and I want to put on the tornado warning box. It might be a little confusing at this time, but putting our velocity scan on the area, you can see this dark red area here is indicating where we have this tornado warning in effect. I'm not sure, it's kind of a big area where we're expecting this, but as you can see here, anywhere in this area, it's kind of screwing it up, but anywhere in this area, you can see we have this line here. This is where we could see the rotation, probably in that area on the edge of the box, and I want to put that up for you. And this is going to be right in this area here. Either in this area we could see some rotation there, and then also in this area, and even punching, this is actually more where we're watching another development to move into the warning box, and you can see only the first one I talked about is in the warning box at this time, so that's the most likely location. But as you can see, the farther more the winds surge in here, and actually I might be wrong by this, but it looks like we have some stronger winds kind of located over here, and right in this patch here. It's not too visible, but it is a little red. I'm not sure if that's because of the tornado watch box effect or what, but obviously in any case we're watching for the development of some velocity and possibly some indicated rotation in this area. And this is kind of interesting. I want to pan this out. Look at the winds here. We have this is good negative 74 miles. And then this is where we're seeing the strong wind gusts here, and then the purple is just high, very high winds. And that is the area that we're watching for these strong winds. And I want to turn that back over to that portion of the issue. And we have a lot of tornado warnings to talk about. We're going to be with them in just a minute, but I want to put on the wind speed layer here because this is the deep stuff that we're focusing on. You can see some areas right now we're averaging about 55 miles per hour right near the Miami area. Here, Homestead averaging about 55 mile per hour wind speeds, and then you can see the darker blue, we get even some purple here. So kind of just by the Keys, we're getting some around 75 mile per hour wind gusts, and we will have some purple as this goes in, and it'll just be horrible for these people because the more purple will spread, and that's when we get the landfall of the system. Now, I just told you I would talk about these. Actually, I think I have a future model for this. So this is what we're looking at right now, and I think this is just a few minutes into 6:30 p.m. You can see only in 8 minutes we'll have some 75 mile per hour wind gusts along the coast here. This extends down to Key Largo, over up Cutler Bay in Miami, and then extending to Fort Lauderdale. That's where we're seeing the strongest winds. But if we put this in play, you can see how the wind will intensify over the next 12 hours. You can see, watch this. This is an interesting model here. This brings the strongest winds up near Homestead, Palmetto Bay, and you can see as they continue to get darker there, and even some more purple expanding. The darker blue it is, and then we get to this orangey, purplish color. So anywhere from this area, Homestead, over to Cutler Bay, the worst of this storm could be expected. And I want to pause this model so we can go over to the latest track. This is about 12:15 a.m. Sorry, and the dark pink color we have here. Sorry, I keep mixing up my colors. Kind of frustrating on live there. But anyway, anywhere in this area, we can watch for the worst of the system. And then I want to pan this out a bit to show you what all of Florida's looking like. And you can see this is at 12:15, 1 a.m. The storm hasn't even made landfall yet. So if we compare this model and then we take this over to the Doppler radar, it's really a good comparison. So we have this model frozen, that was at 1 a.m. You can see probably, if I zoom into the area, just this area, probably south, even not just south of Pembroke Pines there, in the area of this these strong wind fields. You can see probably this area in the strong wind field. So then if I play this model, we go up to about 12:15 a.m., just a little short here. You can see the storm is starting to make landfall, and if we pan this out a bit, you can see I just highlighted that area for you. But where will the storm be at this time? Now, the eye has kind of closed up by this time. It is weakening the system. But somewhere near Key West. I want to go a little bit south because that most likely area, probably around here near Marathon, is where the strongest of it will be. So, for the southern parts of Florida, it will be even worse than what we're seeing on the model there. And that is only a 1 a.m. landfall, not expected until 4 a.m. So it is going to be nasty out there, and we're watching these tracks very carefully for the latest situation. Now I want to check back into Key West here, and this is near the Meadows. We have this tornado warning, but look at that rain total. It's not extremely clear on the TV. I'm looking at that right now, but 14 inches of rain expected in the next 24 hours for this area, and that is it's outstanding rain totals. And we're going to be continuing to watch that for you carefully, the rain totals especially, as I'm pretty sure they will increase. But let's focus on these tornado warnings. There are so many of them at this time. This is the current track on the system, and you can see we have a tornado warning near Wellington, Florida at this time. And this one is actually kind of just near Lake Okeechobee. And this is affecting parts of Boynton Beach, Lake Worth, West Palm Beach, and even parts of North Palm Beach, the south of North Palm Beach there. Palm Beach Garden is being affected, and then not into local red, but as you can see, the area being impacted is quite large. If you want to go through this tornado warning, and we have a report that a severe thunderstorm warning is in effect, along with the tornado warning for radar indicated rotation, and we're watching these storms to be near Green Acres and Royal Palm Estates in Wellington around 6:20 p.m. tonight, and then we're experiencing many effects near Mobile Home Park Plantation there, Lake Worth Corridor, and the golf course over there. Obviously, here in Libertyville we're not being impacted, but it's good to be in the know. Anyway, we want to go, you can kind of see, I want to zoom out quickly here, but you can kind of see the band formation here with the system. So there's no warnings along this line, but as you can see, there is some good development of some system. But watchers, this is the band that's causing the issues here, and you can see that small red tornado warning box. It's right here on your screen. And this is the area, this kind of band here formation is where we're seeing the worst effects. And then that is That's kind of one of the outer bands of Irma, and this happened with Harvey as well. And then here's another one. You can kind of just point them out. I know the resolution isn't the best, but as you can see, here's kind of a this band one, but still causing serious effects. I think this is going to be the worst one of all because there is some formation left in it, and formation could cause devastating impact. Ooh, that's a bad arrow, but anyway, as you can see, the storm is going to be tracking north by the formation of it, and I want to put some tracks on here. We should be able to get the track off this thing. Here we go. We have a Tornado signature recorded by the system, and this is located near Sunrise and Weston, and this storm is going to be near 6:17 p.m. at Sunrise and Weston at 6:25 p.m., and we have a north 41-mile-per-hour wind track. You know, it's moving at a pretty decent speed. I want to go to this mesocyclone track, which means we have strong winds in Imo Kauli, 6:59 p.m. and 7:04 p.m. expecting strong winds near Felda. And we're moving at west at 38 miles per hour, so actually we're moving west with this band. The rotation, that's my bad there. But anyway, as you can see, this is going to be heading towards this area here. This kind of outlines the track here. You can see that yellow part on your screen. That is where the area impacted includes parts of Immokalee, and then into the wildlife refuge over there. That's not good news. And then Estero, and then this extends off into Bonita Springs and Myers Beach, and that is where the worst areas of this tornado warning can be expected. And anywhere in this area, take shelter. Now, this also includes Fort Myers as well, anywhere in this area, and then we're watching another system behind it, also associated with this band. And I want to go to the bigger picture because, as I said, we do have some association with the system. This long band here, it's not that big, but as you can see, it's right there, side to side. It's about 84 miles long, and we're watching what is going on with the system because right behind it, also moving west, is another tornado warning box, and this is also affecting, I think I just talked about this, Sunrise and Weston, affecting our areas near Coconut Creek and Tamarack, Sunrise Plantation over there, Southwest Ranches, Pembroke Pines, in the track of this, and we actually just got another warning box over here near Coconut Creek. We have another warning that just popped up on the map issued by the National Weather Service just a few minutes ago. And then this is we have a damaging tornado on the ground here. This is report. We have a tornado on the ground in this area. We're going to be back live with more coverage from Willie's Weather Channel on YouTube in just a minute. And good evening, everybody. We start on this Saturday with landfall expected in 24 hours and hurricane warnings in effect. This is Tracking Irma with Willie Gillespie on Willie's Weather Channel, live on YouTube. And good evening. We continue our coverage on Hurricane Irma. Right now, we just got word from the National Weather Service that a tornado is on the ground right now in Plantation. We don't have live coverage, but we are hearing the sirens going off with some people in the area. We're watching this tornado on the ground located near Sunrise and Plantation. A tornado warning in effect for this area at this time. And we're going to switch over to the single-site Doppler radar, and we actually have one directly in the tornado zone, which is awesome because then we're going to get the best picture of the situation here. This is the terminal Doppler. I kind of like those, but whatever. All right, we're turning on the terminal Doppler for the velocity at this time, and you can see we're watching some of these strong winds. Now watch as the Doppler radar scans right over this little triangle here. It might not be the best identified on your screen there, but it just went over it, and you can see we're going to zoom in here to this area. Now, I could safely say that the storm has kind of moved off from that area, but watching here along the highway here near Gladys Parkway, we're watching on I-76. These strong bands are developing and creating some monster winds. And this is probably, the tornado is probably going to be located over, as I said, the Highway 27 and 55 at this time, probably near, as I said, this area. But really, the impacted system here is going to be, this area, a general area. This tornado is damaging and it is on the ground. So if you're in this area, take shelter. Near this area we are watching, this is probably where the likely, and right over here is where the likely development, anywhere in this area, it's kind of hard to tell, but probably in this area, we're expecting the tornado to develop, and it is already on the ground. I want to go back to the tornado warning here, and where exactly is this? This is actually near Sunrise Plantation, but I want to go to exactly where we're getting the track of this tornado. And we finally load up. This is in West Broward County in Florida, and this is the latest developments on the system. Obviously under a tornado warning right now, and this is devastating impact. We're seeing this, as I said, tornado warning in effect, and this is for Broward County in southeastern Florida. And it looks like it is picked up off the ground. Anyway, we have reports that this actually just came in a few minutes ago, so it might be different now, but we have a report that the tornado was on the ground, and I was identifying I-75 and 27 and East Tollgate right there is where I was talking about. And if you are in this area, take cover now. Interior room on the low floor of a sturdy building, avoid windows. And this is not even the hurricane. This is one of the outer bands of the system, and this is what is really killing people in the other parts of the country and Harvey. And this is what a lesson that needs to be learned by people, is that this won't stop. And we're in Broward County right now, so I just want to talk about the rain totals there. We're expecting only 6.71 inches of rain, but that's right now. These rain totals may go up over time, and that is what is really hurting people here. We already have 2 inches on the ground, and another 7 could lead up to almost a foot of rain for the area. And really devastating impacts I've been talking about the whole time here. Right now, I want to switch over to one of our local, systems here, and we're going to be back live with reports from Florida, sponsored by the Weather Channel. We're going to have that live in just a minute, folks. We'll be back in just a minute. Hope you're having a great evening. Stay tuned to Willie's Weather Channel. Right now.